Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to psychology. Not just psychology, but applied psychology. Now, it may not be wrong to say that every one of us is a psychologist. But those who studied it perhaps have a little bit more insight to share. And I started this course in psychology in 1986, 30 years ago, as the certificate in applied psychology run by the Singapore Human Resource Institute. At that time, my participants were mostly managers, executives, and the context was the work situation. So I structured a 5-part program, starting one with brain and behavior. Now it's quite easy to understand why brain and behavior. Whatever we do, whatever we feel even, comes from our brain. Yeah? And therefore, this fantastic organism, the brain, is center stage in our life, although it is in the background. Now, 30 years have gone by since I did that program, and much has changed or developed in our understanding of how the mind works and how it affects our emotions, our behavior. And in fact, particularly for seniors or third agers, as we prefer to call them, it holds a lot of potential for seniors to understand how these developments can help them to ward off dementia, which tend to be debilitating for those who grow older and do not sufficiently exercise their mind. So in this program, we will go into the brain dynamics to understand how it actually is wired and in what way we can realize the potential that we may have missed in our younger days. Now, once we have a better understanding of how mind affects behavior, the next stage we go into is the individual. How do we become the individual that we are today? Everyone here is a different person. Why? They've gone through different experiences, they've gone through different environments, yeah? Their whole aspirations and outlook on life undergone changes in very unique ways, yeah? And that's resulted in everyone being a different individual from everyone else. Yes, those who come from a similar culture may share some commonalities. That's to be expected. But within that culture, within that community group, everyone is different in very unique ways. So in this program, we are trying to understand how do we become the person that we are today? And in what way, perhaps even more importantly, we can become a better person even, a more effective person, a more loving person, a more understanding person, because what we are impacts all around us, other people, situations, events. Then we move on to beyond the person, to interaction between two persons, interpersonal relations, interpersonal communication. It has been said that money is the root of all evil. It can also be said that communication is the root of all misunderstanding. And here we can see what an unrested world we live in today, despite the tremendous progress we've made in science and technology. We sent a man to the moon and back to Earth, safe and sound. But if you look at the world around us, we are still killing one another. All sorts of conflicts at all sorts of levels. How come? To me, the answer lies in our focus on science, on technology, on economics. And a society that is very economically focused will produce a very different generation compared to prior generations. Enough said. We move on next to interpersonal dynamics at the group level, group dynamics. And how one person behaves towards another person could be very different under different social contexts. It's well known that if a person comes across another person in distress, he will stop to help. But study after study have shown that in a public space where a person is in distress, people will walk past him and not have no inclination or does not even bother to see what's wrong with that person. Why? Understanding these group dynamics will help us to understand how different people interrelate under different social contexts. Now, the last part of the program is where I've made some changes from the program I evolved 30 years ago. As I said, at the time, the context was the work situation in organizations. And my final part was really on organizational dynamics or organizational development. This is not so relevant to seniors or third agers. So I've substituted another topic, self and society. This will give us insights into how each of us relate to our family, our community, our nation, and the world. As I said, progress has been made technologically, scientifically, economically, but socially, there has been progress, but not enough. And I think essential to that is how the individual relates to the greater society that he's in. So in this final part of the course, we help the individual to focus on how he or she can relate to others at all levels in society. Thank you.